Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris Schrade. This is the Athlete Hackers Podcast.
And I'm your trusty companion, Mark Spellman, here today to talk to you about mental health.
Mental health. So Mark has been on a couple of different podcasts with the Lion's Breath Movement podcast, who specifies. I think they pretty much specialize in this area, right? More mental health type of topics.
Yeah, one of my former football players from Fairfield, Owen Salvestrini, and his friend Kevin Seaman from Danbury CrossFit. Shout out to you guys. They started a podcast, much like we did. We just, we were like, hey, let's start a podcast. We'll talk about athletic development and our strength and conditioning, youth athletic development, and all this stuff. But they were really focusing on mental health. And I've did 2 episodes on their show. The first one was about 3 hours, so it's a long one. The second one, our wives kept it down to about 2 hours. But it's one of those things, especially now in these uncertain times. I think mental health is an aspect that a lot of people shy away from. There's definitely a stigmatism to it. I think people are getting better with it. From my own personal side, I have 3 children. 2 of my 2 older children both went to counseling because they were having a hard time dealing with certain aspects in school, and the therapist that they went to gave them some coping skills that Kelly and I didn't think of or didn't have expertise in. When you have a child, nobody gives you a manual. Nobody knows. No. Nobody tells you. Nobody gives you like, hey, this is what you need to do on week 3, year 1. It's kind of like, hey, here's your baby. Good luck. And for I think yourself and myself and hopefully a lot of people out there, we had a good experience growing up and had good examples, good moms and dads that showed us how to be good parents. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that don't have that experience. So, it's one of those things. And I, during these times right now, Drew's had some difficult times, and we revert back to the coping skills that his therapist helped him with. But getting more into, my situation, I got fired from Fairfield University after 12 years. And then I got hired at George Washington University. And the lesson I learned there is that don't take the baggage from a previous experience and take it to a new experience. Take what you learned from your previous experience and get better at your new opportunity. And unfortunately, I did not do that. I was in a bad place, away from my family. I was hired before the director, and to be honest, I didn't do the job the way I should have done it. And I played the victim a lot. Why is everybody, after me? And, I'm doing my job, and it really wasn't up to the levels that I should have been at or could be at.
Kids, if you're listening, you're in the middle of the self-analyzation that's going to make you a better player and a better person. So listen up.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and a lot of people don't look at the mirror and don't look at it's really easy to do the woe is me and blame other people, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own happiness. You're responsible for what you want out of this life. I mean, David Goggins, and for those that don't know David Goggins by now, he put his goals on his mirror. So every morning he got up, he had to look at himself in the mirror, almost 300 pounds, and his goal was to become a Navy SEAL. So it's one of those things. I have a couple messages on sticky notes next to my mirror to remind me what's important and to remind me that, what to focus on. I mean, whatever you focus on, that's going to be kind of what's going to lead the way. So if you always are negative or are focusing on the bad things, then guess what? It's going to be bad. But instead of that, and we talked about this a couple times, when people tell me they have to do something, I always looked at I look at my clients and my athletes. You don't have to do this. I mean, there's a lot of people that would love to get to do this. You get to do this. You don't have to do it. You get to do it. And it's been one of those things that's really helped me change my outlook on things. I don't have there's a lot of things I don't have to do. I mean, I don't have to go for like an hour and a half bike ride today. I get to do that. I mean, the weather's nice outside and I'm going to go for an hour and a half bike ride. But I think once you start going down that bad path or that slippery slope as to, woe is me, it can add up really quickly. And, after I got let go from GW, I came back. I got a job, thankfully, at the New Canaan YMCA. And, I love the job, but it wasn't something I was passionate about. And I was stressed out about so many different things. I wound up, the stress wound up giving me a heart condition called AFib. And I wound up getting cardioverted 5 times, I think, in a year. And then I had a procedure called a cryoablation, where they go up the femoral artery and they freeze the part of the heart, which they think is causing the afibrillation. So, the stress can kill you. I mean, it's not a joke. I mean, when you're in a bad place and you're stressed out about, paying bills, not doing what you want to do, not really being the person that you can be. Am I being a good husband? I'm not being a good husband. I'm not being a good father. And I don't mean I was doing anything wrong. It's just I wasn't being the best that I could be for my wife and my children. And
it's obvious to see that mental health is so important just in general, to be able to go through life and be happy, and also how you affect your loved ones around you. That is the most important part. And part of it is, like you had mentioned, being cognizant of it and not hiding from it, and then finding coping skills to deal with it. As it relates to sports, it's incredibly important because your mental health affects your importance, your performance. You could practice all the time, be on top of your game, uh, you know, uh, competing in all the right places, doing all the right workouts, sound strength and conditioning program. But if your mental health is not in line, you are not going to perform well.
No, I mean, and one of the things that really helped me is, one of the things that we had to do when I became Parisi speed coach certified was that we had to write a mission statement down. And we had to say that mission statement for memory in front of, I think when I got certified, there were 40 other coaches. So you had to stand up in front of them and tell them your mission statement. Well, my mission statement, and it's still the same mission statement it was years ago, it's to be the best husband and father I can be on a daily basis while providing the highest level of care or training for the individuals and teams that I work with so they can become the best version of themselves. So that being said, I think, I took time with coming up with my mission statement for myself. You had some of the younger coaches, came up with like, just do it, or, go hard. And okay, at 20, yeah,
Yours
I
is a
get
little
that.
deeper. You've
Yeah,
been through a little bit more than they have.
Yeah, and I think everybody that's listening, take the time and think about what you want to do with your life and come up with a mission statement. But really put thought into it and take time. Usually when I say my mission statement, I wind up crying because it's so personal to me and so powerful. But it's also one of the things that really helped me when I was in a deep, dark place.
It also means you've got the right mission statement for yourself. That's a sign.
Yeah, but you look at it, and after the heart, last year I had C7 T1 fusion, so I couldn't really train. So one of the ways that I used to deal with my frustrations and you know, how I would release a lot of my anxiety and stress was I would train, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't train for a year. Um, and then training became, hey, let's walk to the end of the block. Okay, well, now let's walk around the block. All right, well, now let's try and take the dog for a walk for 20 minutes. I really had to refocus what training was for me. And not only, I couldn't train, but, I went from training jujitsu every day to not being able to get on the mat at all.
Yeah.
Um,
And it,
and I would
it's
go
not
ahead.
this is what you went through and when you had told me what you're going through and how you're feeling, I was in complete shock because that's not the Mark Spellman I know. The Mark Spellman I know was always happy, always had a smile on his face, always talking to people, slapping hands, giving hugs, just all positive energy all the way around. And for you to be that deep, it didn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, but and I think a lot of people do that. I would say there was times that I was probably lying to a lot of people and not being honest because I didn't want to share what was really going on with me. And I think a lot of people do that. They don't think, or they think they're the only person going through it. I would say there's probably more people going through bad stuff than good stuff, unfortunately. Um, but when you have a strong tribe around you, and you have individuals like yourself and my jiu-jitsu friends and my family that I can talk to, it becomes very powerful. I think one of the gentlemen that I have to thank is Brandon Lilly. For those that don't know Brandon Lilly, he's a world record powerlifter. His total's well over 2,000 pounds.
For what?
He did a presentation at Summer Strong.
Was
I
that
think it
was
was
that
Summer Strong.
was that deadlift?
2,000 pound total with bench, squat, and deadlift.
Oh, okay.
So, you're looking at like an average of 700 pounds per lift.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Brandon's quite the individual. His Instagram posts are phenomenal. He's now, when he was competing in powerlifting, he was like 320 pounds, and now he's, I think, down around 240. He went through, he was really big into powerlifting and was training at Westside with Louis Simmons and the like. And he wound up having like 14 knee surgeries, I believe.
Yikes.
So yeah, his presentation, and you can look it up on YouTube. You go to the Sornex Summer Strong page, and I think it's Summer Strong 10, and he talks about it. And I watched the YouTube. I was like, all right, I got to talk to this guy. So I reached out to him blindly, and I was like, hey, I saw your video, and I'm going through some stuff physically right now, and it's really messing me up mentally, and I'd love to talk to you. So we talked before Summer Strong 12, and then at Summer Strong 12, I got to meet him, and we talked for a little bit. he was really busy as being a Sornex employee and rep for them. And he reached out to me and he's like, hey, sorry we didn't get a chance to talk, but and we text each other, and it's one of those things, like, find somebody out there. Like, if you need to talk to somebody, feel free to talk to me. Like, I'd rather you reach out to me and us have a conversation and me be able to help you, or at least point you in a direction to get some help, than to do something that is non-reversible.
And you could reach Mark as mspell21 at Instagram. Is that the?
Yep. Or Coach M. Spellman. I mean, once again, we have a bunch of. I always get confused with this.
Yeah, you talk about coping mechanisms, and in my opinion, exercise is probably one of the best coping mechanisms there is out there for stress, anxiety, depression. And certainly I'm sure your situation was worsened by the fact that you couldn't work out. It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big believer in pharmaceuticals. They have their place for a small part of the population who can't get by on other modalities. So for the majority of people, exercise is kind of a universal coping mechanism to put into your repertoire.
Well, that's why I love the therapist that my children went to, because she did not medicate them. She gave them coping mechanisms and modalities that they know that they keep with them today. Whether it's focusing on your breathing techniques. Once again, I think having a daily ritual is huge right now. I mean, and being able to control the controllables. I mean, what can you control right now? Well, I can control what I do now and how I feel about it. I can control, what I'm going to do the next, 14 hours today. I can control that. Like, when we're done, I'm going to take my dog for a walk. I'm going to say my prayers, meditate, and then I'm probably going to go for an hour and a half to 2 hour bike ride. That's what I'm going to do. I can control that. I don't have to. I get to.
Yeah.
And no matter.
Go ahead.
No matter how bad things are going, and I've used this quote a bunch of times from the director of strength and conditioning. Excuse me, the director of strength and conditioning for the Paralympic team. Someone would love to have your bad day. So, I mean, yeah, you might be deep into it. And there was a breaking point that I had. I was at physical therapy one day, and I told my therapist, I was like, I'm happy that I don't have a gun. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, because I'm in a bad place right now. And he's like, do you need to talk to somebody? And just for me saying that, it kind of snapped me out of it. But like, that was the reality. And I had a conversation with my wife, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay. But like right now, I'm just dealing with I'm in a bad place right now. And I was in a bad place for a couple of weeks.
Talk to someone if you get to that point.
Yeah, definitely.
There's people that want you around.
Yeah, I mean, and my Instagram is mspell21. My Facebook account's Mark Spellman. If you reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to talk with you, or at least try and point you in the right direction to get the help. Especially, and I keep saying it's a time of uncertainty right now. But yes, we're going to get through this. We're going to come out on the other side of this, stronger and better. You might not see that right now, but I would also take this time and look at it as an opportunity and not something as being negative. Try and get better. I mean, if you've always wanted to learn how to play a musical instrument, then do it. If you've always wanted to learn how to cook or bake something, then do it. I mean, you have time right now to do these things. So look at it as an opportunity. Once again, just switch your mindset from, oh, woe is me, to, wow, I've got this time. I've got this time with my family. I have this time with my children. I have this time with my spouse. I get to read a book that I've always wanted to read. whatever it may be, take this time as an opportunity to get better and be better when all of it's through. I mean, look at like the butterfly that comes out of the cocoon. Well, I mean, the animal going into the cocoon wasn't that pretty. The caterpillar going in wasn't that pretty, but it came out a beautiful butterfly. So use these next days, weeks, months, whatever it's going to be, and get better at whatever you want to get better at and become a better person so you can do better for other people.
As you know, in martial arts, there's a lot of talk and legend behind external martial arts and internal martial arts, and external strength and internal strength. And a lot of what we do from day to day in strength and conditioning in sports, it's more external type of stuff, although the external does tone the internal. The whole idea of internal strength, I understood it as I was going through my martial arts experience, but I didn't really get it. And I didn't get it until I stopped training for quite a long time. I started having kids, I had to work a lot more, and I just didn't have the time to train as much as I did in the past or like to. And I started noticing things that would they would get me upset, or things that I would react to, and I would sit back and think about it afterwards. And I think back 2-3 years before that, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, this never used to bother me. And it was a lesson, because not only was I resistant against things that certain things that started to bother me after I stopped training, but it was almost as if I was completely ignorant to them and didn't get a chance to deal with them until I got out of shape and until that internal strength was gone for a while. So it was a great experience, because one, I did get to finally see, outside of theory, this idea of internal strength, but I also got to work on things and work on myself for things I just didn't see, because at a particular time that internal strength was very strong because of exercise and because of martial arts. So now, maybe that's an explanation for maturity, call it what you want, but that's my experience on the whole thing. So strong, vigorous exercise, like hardcore strength and conditioning, martial arts, yoga, they will tone internal strength as well as external strength. And I think that probably has more to do with mental health than anything else.
I mean, you got to do shit that sucks. I mean, because when you do stuff that's hard, you can get through it. It didn't kill you, hopefully. I mean, hopefully, whatever you choose to do that's hard, it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, don't go that far.
But then the next time you go to do that activity, one, you already did it. Two, you're going to go to the next level, whether physically or mentally or both. It's Joe Rogan and his buddies, they do the Sober October, and 2 years ago they did a fitness challenge. And you're talking about 4 comedians, and Joe Rogan being probably the best athlete out of the bunch, fairly easily, and he would do 4 hours to 5 hours of cardio a day.
Wow.
He set off the fire alarm in his house on the stair stepper. So, and he's like, when I got done with that, nothing bothered me. He's like, you want me to go to the store? Sure.
Yeah.
I got it. No worries. And I think, before my injuries, and I was doing jujitsu at 6 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of knuckle dragging animals, that was the hardest part of my day. From 6 to 7:30, 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning, getting my ass kicked.
You
That
didn't
was the
come
hardest
across
part.
another person that wanted to take your head off the rest of the day.
Or your foot, or your arm, or whatever part of body they had a hold of you. And being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Getting comfortable and being in an uncomfortable situation. I mean, if you've ever had a 250-pound man lying on top of you trying to choke you, it's a very uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, that experience tones internal strength better than anything else. When you are in a situation, an uncomfortable situation, the first thing you want to do is react, get yourself out. But in something like jiu-jitsu, you don't have that ability. But you're still alive, you're still breathing, and you have no choice but to accept the position where you are and just relax, just breathe, and wait till the situation changes. I mean, really, what we just talked about right there was probably a great allegory for mental health. That situation in jiu-jitsu, when you are in a position that you can't do anything about, you just give into it. You let it be, because eventually it's going to change, and you have no choice but to relax in that particular place.
Well, and you'll see people when they first start with jiu-jitsu, they'll get in a bad position and they'll freak out.
Yeah.
And
Even if you freak out, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, and all you do by freaking out is you sap your energy quicker.
Yeah, you exasperate yourself more. Yep.
And you open up more attacks for the person that's already in a good position. So, once again, if you're going through something bad,
go do jiu-jitsu.
Go do jiu-jitsu. Listen to Jocko. Go do jiu-jitsu. Go do something hard. But understand that, yeah, you're going through a hard time, but there's a reason you're going through it. You might not see it right now, but at the end of it, like Eric Thomas says, at the end of it, there will be success. I mean, and you're talking about a guy that was homeless at 16, and now he's a multi-millionaire motivational speaker that has his doctorate. He has his PhD from Michigan State. So how bad was it? How bad was it for him at 16? And I guarantee you, if you asked him right now, would he change it? The answer would be no. The answer would be no, because if you don't go through those trials and tribulations, you're not going to get to where you want to get to, or you're not going to become the person that you're going to become. Once again, coal doesn't become a diamond without some pressure. So you need some pressure in your life in order to change. And you need that pressure and that stimulus in order to change, to become that diamond. Without that stimulus, or without that pressure, or without that stress, you're just going to be a lump of coal. So kind of embrace what you're going through. It's hard to do. I didn't do it when I was going through it. But now that I look back, I wouldn't change it for anything. I would change probably the physical issues. I'd love to be 100% healthy, like all of us old people. But at the same time, I wouldn't change any of the things that I went through, because I know that it's setting me up for greatness and to become the person that I truly am meant to become.
I think you have to break down what causes stress, what causes unhappiness. And, I see, I'm completely generalizing this, but in Buddhism, the way you reach nirvana is by finally letting go of all desires and all wants. And that's true happiness, according to them. I don't know if any of us can do that. There's probably only a small percentage that can actually get there. And whether that is the right way to be or not, I don't know, because I've never been there. But I think about that, and it puts in perspective some of the things that are going on that would make me unhappy if, I don't reach a goal or things don't go my way. Well, it's almost self-inflicted, and you have to understand that and get over it. You're not going to get everything you want in life. Everything's not going to go your way. And the whole reason that you feel like this in the first place is because you are desiring things, you're going after things, and that's okay, but accept the consequences that come with it. Figure out how to get better and grow from it.
But also, I mean, once again, control what you can control. I mean, you can't control if that Fortune 500 company hires you or not. What you can do is when you have that opportunity or that next opportunity is you can be more prepared for it when you get that next opportunity. You know, I have a stack of letters of a bunch of places that I've applied to that, you know, thank you, you're qualified, but we've decided to go in a different direction. Whatever, that's fine. That's just making me more enthusiastic and giving me more options for the next time I have that opportunity to discuss becoming a director of strength and conditioning or the CEO of a fitness facility, you know, whatever it may be. But, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, I hate to say that, but everything does happen for a reason. And at the end of the day, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And don't give up on your dreams and keep getting after it day after day and being the best person that you can be so you can help the people that are in your lives and that you come in contact with.
Absolutely. That's a great one out of you today, man. That was a heavy one.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, I'm part of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break down the stigmatism and the preconceived notion that what is mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think the more open people are about it, and the stuff that they're going through, you know, the better everybody will be. And I think, you know, as we're seeing with the situation that everybody's dealing with now, I mean, it's going to be a greater sense of community and a greater sense of everybody coming together to help one another. And unfortunately, we got to this point, and now it's what are we going to do when we get out of it?
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are seeing right now what's really important in their lives. You know, is going to the Caribbean for a week really important in your life? For some people, yes, but for most people, no, because most people can't do it. But it's the people that they come into contact on a daily basis, and the people that are in their lives. And everybody, you can control who comes into your life as much as you can control how you react to things. And, you know, once again, I think we stressed it enough that you have to put yourself in certain struggle situations on a daily basis so that you know you can get through things that are hard and difficult. I mean, that's
100%.
one of the greatest things about strength and conditioning programs that, you know, I put pretty much all the athletes that I worked with at Fairfield University, I put them in bad situations. I put them in very stressful situations. And, you know, we're probably going to talk to a couple of them on this podcast to try and help the younger athletes go through, understand the process that they're going to have to go through.
Can't wait to hear those stories about you.
Oh, they're going to be some fun ones.
I've seen a couple, but to hear the stories directly from the athletes is going to be fun.
Yeah, I might have to censor some of them.
Yeah.
But once again, it's at the end of the day, you know, Brendan Lilly, was it a +1, a neutral, or a -1 day? And if you look at it, if you have more +1 days than you do anything else, you're probably going to have a good week, and then you're probably going to have a good month, and then, hey, you're going to have a good year. But it starts with having that first +1 day.
100%.
You know.
All right, everyone. Thanks for checking us out today. And remember, not only do you need a good skill training program, a good strength and conditioning program, but every single player, every single coach, and anyone helping an athlete try to achieve goals, put mental health in as a modality to help your performance.
I would also say if you do need some help, please get that professional help that you need, and reach out to somebody who you can talk with, so that you can get the help that you need, because it's really important, and I want you around. I want you here, and I don't want you to do anything. You know, I don't want you to take a temporary situation and make it a permanent consequence.
100%. There's people that want you here.
Yeah, somebody wants you here. You know.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
Right now, it's me.
Share this podcast with all your friends.
Stay healthy. Stay well. All my best.
Peace.
God bless. See ya.